the pharaoh who married his daughter and had 140 children. Ramses II built more monuments than any other Egyptian king. He sired more children than any of them. He also reigned the longest. Ramses II's era was the golden age of Egypt. He was the third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty. It was his grandfather, Ramses I, who founded it. The pharaoh inherited the throne accidentally. His older brother died. Ramses II ascended the throne at 14. As was the custom at the time, he took a wife. By the time he turned 15, Ramses had 4 children. Over his long life, he had around 80 sons and 60 daughters. Most of them didn't survive their childhood. Ramses was so young that Egypt's enemies decided to exploit it. The Hittites invaded Egypt from the north. They took over the important trading town of Kadesh. Ramses led his forces to recapture it, but he was duped by spies. They convinced him that the Hittites were far from the Egyptian camp. Instead, they were lying in wait nearby and attacked. The Egyptians were on the brink of defeat, but reinforcements arrived just in the nick of time. Ramses II won that battle, but not the war. His battered troops withdrew from Kadesh. Ramses wasn't about to let it tarnish his perceived triumph. He started a massive building campaign across Egypt. On temple walls, he ordered the creation of murals. They depicted him single-handedly defeating the aggressors. In reality, after years of negotiation, Ramses signed a peace treaty with the Hittites. It was the earliest peace accord, whose text has survived. Both sides agreed to extradite refugees. They also agreed to aid one another if attacked by enemies. One copy of the treaty was carved on a stela in the Temple of Karnak. Ramses married the eldest daughter of the Hittite king. It was a sign of diplomatic good faith. She joined Queen Nefertari and the rest of the huge family. They lived at Ramses' new capital, Paramses. The pharaoh used it as a main staging point for northern campaigns. He led several military expeditions into the Levant. Under his rule, Egypt established control over Canaan and Phoenicia. Ramses also led several expeditions into Nubia. At home, he built the temples at Karnak and Abu Simbel. They are among Egypt's greatest wonders. Towering statues of Ramses were put up all over Egypt. The pharaoh had more than 200 wives and concubines, but only Nefertari was considered a queen. She bore the official title of the royal wife of the pharaoh. Nefertari even helped her husband rule Egypt. It was her who negotiated the peace treaty with the Hittites. Ramses clearly valued her more than his other wives. We know next to nothing about them, except some names. After her death, Nefertari was immortalized at Abu Simbel. Ramses had her depicted on the facade next to Tuya, his mother. Murals depict Nefertari turning into Sopdet. That was the Egyptian name for Sirius. Sopdet appeared before the Nile's annual flooding. Another rock-carved temple was dedicated to Nefertari. In this one, she is identified with the goddess Hathor. Ramses also went on to marry his daughters. This was customary for Egyptian dynasties. They all became great royal wives. Ramses' favorite was Bentanath, Lady of the Two Lands. Bentanath and her sister Nebutavi are depicted at Abu Simbel. Ramses also honored his father by completing temples at Abydos. His own funerary temple is called the Ramesseum. It contained a massive library of some 10,000 papyrus scrolls. Ramses was so popular that 9 other pharaohs took his name. To tell him apart, he was titled Ramses the Great.